Yes, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, I'm definitely fired up and glad to have you back here today. Of course, we're going into another level, another session. Of course, I'm talking about how to get $100,000 using other people's money and the bank money. Before I do that, again, I want to make sure you get pen and paper because the things that we're going to share today, of course, we talked about some other basic stuff, and it's going to be like a series. You're going to continue to expand and grow. We want to make for sure that you share with family and friends. In order to do that, before I get started, make for sure that wherever it's at, y'all know I forget all the time, right? So making sure wherever the subscription button, make sure that you subscribe, and of course hit the bell, the notification button, so anytime we get any uploads, that of course they'll be sent to you. And again, they don't cost you anything to do that. So guess what time it is? Let's get started. Now, we want to talk about everything that we build on. Is talking about the FTACS. Just like you learned in school, the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3, where we teach what is called the FTACs. What are the FTACs? You have to have, of course, the F, which is financial IQ. We talk about it in one of my other YouTube videos. It's different types of education. And the different types of course, IQ. So we know you got basic education, of course, when you learn, your 1, 2, 3, your ABCs, learn how to read, write, deductive reasoning, all the things that we do. We call that academic, okay? That's academic IQ. Then we have what is called specialized IQ. Is when you go to college, trade school, you learn how to become an electrician, learn how to become a barber, learn to become an accountant. And then there's other IQs as well. But let's get to number 3, which is financial IQ. So those are things that you are participating now. The T stands for talent. We're going to show you in our programs how to develop your talent and use the talent of other people so you can be successful. But the next thing, which is probably the biggest thing that most people have not learned, is the A, which is assets. We want to show you that have money, how to have money working for you instead of you working for it. And in order to make all of this work, the FTAs, you have to have the C's, concept and strategies. So we're going to do that. So we're going to talk about today, giving you some more of FTACs, how to get $100,000 using other people's money and the bank money. So we talked about in the first session. If you haven't seen it, make sure you can go back on YouTube, look at it. You want to get the first one. But we want to talk about today documentation beats conversation. Okay? Maybe you need to get a new marker too. Man told the campaign maybe get a new marker too, but I guess this will get us started, right? But documentation beats conversation. Now, so before I get started with some of the documentation and everything that you need to have, so we can put you in a position in 30, 60, 90 days, possibly 120 days. It could even be longer than 120 days. Let me give that as a disclosure and a disclaimer. But most of the time, ladies and gentlemen, you're talking about in 30, 60, 90 days, I can put you in a position where you can get $100,000, sometimes less, sometimes even more, but you can get $100,000 using other people's money and the bank money, but you must learn how to put what is called your portfolio together. Okay, that's a fancy word for paper. Okay, I know some people say, well, why they just don't say paper? I know portfolio, just a fancy word for getting papers, better yet, your financial documents and things in order. And so we're going to talk about that. The first thing I want to share with you is that before I get to talk to you about our financial manual and kit that you can purchase that almost, for the most part, put you in a position at least 80 to 90% of the time, guarantee that you could be able to get access to $100,000 of other people's money and the bank money. But I'm going to tell you some basic things.